Coming up next on 13 ABC, Action News at 5.
Underwater, many homes in a Perrysburg Township community flooded out.
Searching for whoever killed a woman in an early morning hit and run.
My hope is that the forces of good will conquer those of evil in that country right now.
Developments in the situation in Ukraine and the local congresswoman's keen interest in the outcome.
Still under a wind advisory the next couple of hours, and we're tracking some snowflakes for the weekend. Our next Arctic blast on the way next week.
But we begin with breaking news happening right now.
Hazmat crews on the scene of an incident involving swimming pool chemicals at the Toledo Club downtown. 2
people were treated for injuries, and 13 ABC's Sean Haggerty is live with breaking details. Sean?
Yeah, we still have one Toledo fire crew here on the scene. Let's give you a live look at what they're doing right now. We're told they're mitigating the situation. As a matter of fact, they are pulling away right now. The Northwest Ohio's hazmat response team is leaving as we speak. Now, we're told this whole incident started around 3 o'clock today when someone was transferring chlorine in the pool area, and there was some kind of reaction. Not a spill, just a reaction to the chlorine. The Toledo Fire hazmat crew was called out. Again, one person taken to the hospital for observation. The other one was treated on the scene. The person taken to the hospital, we do not know the extent of the injuries there. The building was evacuated as a precaution. You might imagine a pool incident usually doesn't cause a hazmat situation, but fire officials say when it comes to chemicals, you need to be careful.
Anytime we deal with chemicals, those types of things, reactions, they can off-gas, create fumes that could be hazardous. So once you have that hazardous situation, it goes beyond what a normal crew can respond to.
Back here live again, the one Toledo fire crew is still here. We just saw the hazmat response team leaving. This was the only building that was evacuated. There's actually a school on each side of the Toledo Club with the Toledo School for the Arts on the back side there, but there were no evacuations there and no injuries in any other people in surrounding buildings here. Reporting live in downtown Toledo, Sean Haggerty, 13 ABC Action News.
Also happening now, Toledo police on the scene of an injury accident. It happened within the last half an hour. Dispatchers telling 13 ABC the crash involves 2 vehicles on Reynolds Road near Glendale. South Toledo traffic is blocked in that area.
Well, water and ice. This is what's left of yesterday's storm. We have team coverage tonight of the aftermath of more cold air and rain. Plus, Jay will have what's next in our area.
First, want to get to the flooding in Perrysburg Township now. 13 ABC's Christine Long live in a subdivision off of 7095 and Oregon Road with how homeowners are coping. Christine?
Lee, they're frustrated, but they say there's not much they can do. This wild weather mix, which is clogging up everything, appears to be a recipe for the high water. Now take a look at this video. Several blocks of Starlight Road in the Starbright subdivision in Perrysburg Township are waterlogged. Looks like a river runs through it. The water is flooding more than a dozen garages and basements. One man showed us his basement with 5 feet of water. Another woman says since 3 a.m. she's been pumping out 26 gallons every 5 minutes. The lucky ones have no water inside but are stranded because of the high water on the roads.
I did talk to the city. They said a lot of it is that the ground is still frozen, and with all the rain and everything we got yesterday, that it's clogging up the sewers. The ice is going down in and clogging up the sewers, and it could take a while. Pretty much up to Mother Nature right now, they said.
Perrysburg Township crews are trying to help. They're using a backhoe to remove ice jams and snow from the drainage ditch on the west side of Oregon Road to give the thousands of gallons of water out here someplace to go. Reporting live from Perrysburg Township, Christine Long, 13 ABC Action News.
Boy, and you can tell sunny out there today, which should help some drying on the roads,
Right.
but very cold and windy.
Yeah, the wind really picked up after the warmth left. Chief Meteorologist Jay Burschback live in the 13 ABC First Warning Forecast Center. At least the real warm air left, Jay.
It did, yeah, unless you were up between about 10 o'clock last night. Wind advisories go for the next hour or 2. We'll have that forecast for the wind. Waves of flurries and snow showers this weekend. And next week, the 2 words you probably don't want to hear, Arctic blast. It's back. Those details in a few moments. Stay tuned.
I feel like la la la, I don't want to hear it. Well, flooding, cold temperatures and wind, that is the weather story today. But in Michigan, ice made some roads impassable. 13 ABC meteorologist Ross Ellett continues our team coverage tonight.
While yesterday's thaw allowed those main roads to completely dry out, traffic is moving by smoothly. The side roads are covered in about 3 inches of ice here in Lenawee County.
Since yesterday when it rained, the road flooded, and then we had icy conditions. We had one bus that couldn't get off of the ice. We had to have a wrecker come in and pull the bus out. It's the back roads that are dirt that are causing the problems for us as a district.
Where the pavement ends is where the problems begin. The challenges continue to stack up for the Adrian Public School District.
We are up to 13 days in one of our buildings, although one of those was a power outage earlier in the year, but primarily we're anywhere from 11 to 13 days based on the building.
It is becoming more obvious by the day that once warmer weather does arrive, Old Man Winter's grip will be felt for months to come.
Everybody says now they dread the phone call in the morning. Even the kids want to go to school because they don't want to go until the end of June.
Along with the near impossible driving conditions, now the other concern are the winds gusting between 40 to 50 miles per hour. Reporting in Lenawee County, Ross Ellett, 13 ABC Action News.
And those slick conditions have hospitals seeing more slips and falls. Emergency rooms say they're seeing a significant increase in fall-related injuries. Those injuries ranging from broken wrists and wrenched backs to the more serious problems involving the older folks.
Saw 3 fractured hips yesterday and head injuries, and they tend to be on a lot of medications that complicate that, like blood thinning medications, aspirin, things of that sort that really make taking care of those patients challenging.
In most cases, doctors say it's just not possible to prevent all falls, but just try to be aware of your surroundings, the risk in this weather, and take it easy out there.
Workers at Cloverleaf Cold Storage are back on the job after part of the facility's roof collapsed. This happened yesterday afternoon at the building on Independence Drive in Napoleon. The facility is partially reopened today. 11 people there suffered minor injuries. Firefighters think that heavy snow combined with all that rain yesterday caused the collapse. And the collapse in turn then caused an ammonia leak after a pipe broke. 40 people were inside. An environmental contractor is helping to clean up the damage.
Toledo police investigating a deadly hit and run in the city's north end. Police got the call just before 3:30 this morning. They arrived on the scene to find a 26-year-old woman, Theresa James, dead on North Detroit near Willamette. 13 ABC's Zach Pitts was the first local television reporter on the scene. He has the latest in this crime and safety alert.
Toledo police say one woman is dead following an apparent hit and run.
The crews responded this morning, found a deceased female in the street.
Crews also found parts of a vehicle scattered across the pavement. Officials believe those parts came off the vehicle that hit and killed a woman.
And the vehicle would have damage to the right side, passenger side front headlight area.
As you can see, this section of Detroit is 45 miles per hour, and officials believe that is how fast that vehicle was traveling when it hit that woman. However, people that live right over here in this community believe this section of Detroit is a speed zone.
Speed limit of 45, tendency to goes up to 55, 60, sometimes 70 miles an hour, and you can hear them whiz down.
It doesn't matter what the speed was in this case. The point is, the driver hit and killed a person and never stopped. In Toledo, Zach Pitts, 13 ABC Action News.
Authorities say they need some help tracking down the vehicle at the center of this hit and run. They're looking for either a red Ford Explorer or a Mercury Mountaineer, the model year ranging anywhere from 1995 to 2001. There is damage to the front passenger side of the SUV. Anyone with additional information is urged to call Crime Stopper, and that number right there on your screen, 255-1111.
And that hit and run victim is the second woman found dead in just 1 week. Over the weekend, hunters in Fulton County found Brandy Gonyer Boston dead in a running vehicle. A report from the Lucas County Coroner's Office shows that she died of asphyxiation. Her death now being investigated as a homicide. Authorities are still looking for a suspect in that case.
Developing details out of Ukraine today, where the president and protesters there have reportedly reached a deal. The country's parliament voting today to remove the interior minister. He's getting most of the blame for ordering police to use violence against protesters. Dozens have been killed there, recent riots in Kiev. But a much calmer day today. Ukraine's parliament is taking action to restore a 10-year-old constitution that limits presidential powers and calls for presidential elections later this year. The White House is praising that deal reached today. Congresswoman Marcy Kaptur says she has worked with Ukrainian parliament members in the past. 13 ABC talked with her today about this new deal.
All I can say is I am so proud of the students of that country who want a better way of life. I'm so proud of the veterans of Afghanistan and Iraq from that country who have come forward and tried to be restrained.
Republican U.S. Senator Rob Portman of Ohio issued this statement on the crisis. It reads, "I'm hopeful that the settlement agreed to by opposition leaders and the Ukrainian government will ease tensions and set the stage for real democratic reform. Tomorrow noon, concerned Ohioans will protest the violence in Ukraine across the state. That includes a protest outside the courthouse on Spielbush in downtown Toledo. Again, that is tomorrow at noon. Still ahead, here on Action News at 5. The problem's not going away anytime soon, despite the truly ramped up effort to stop it.
The best ways to avoid falling victim to identity theft coming up next in our I-Team Consumer Alert.
And a historic Toledo theater looks to expand its offerings. What could be coming to the Ohio Theater? Next in our Blade Briefing.
This is 13 ABC Action News with Diane Larson and Lee Conklin.